Right, David Baker's back, and next programme in the series is making scones. So the method of this is in a large bowl. You know, you've got a large bowl and you've got 450 grams of self-raising flour in there. You need 56 grams of butter cut into like small pieces. Okay. You just need one of these spoons. Actually, you need this one. Can't do it otherwise. Okay. And also the rest of the ingredients I'll tell you. This is the Belmont Hotel Leicester. Quick plug for Belmont Hotel Leicester, where I did my law degree. GDL, very good. Staying there at the weekends. Excellent hotel. Make sure you don't get the room above the disco, like I did. And finally got the room at the end, where it was really quiet. Okay, so what you do is you get a large bowl, you mix the self-raising flour with the butter, and you rub it together so you get like fine crumbs. You need 28 grams of caster sugar, 2 teaspoons of baking powder, 1/4 teaspoonful of salt, 250 ml of milk, and 1 egg yolk. So I've got the 1 egg yolk there. Best thing to do is to break it open into a bowl first, just to make sure it's not. Make sure it's a good egg. Good egg. Can you see that there? Probably can't. Well, it is good. I can assure you it is good. Cameraman's sacked again. Anyway, so the other things you need is you need this with flour on it. You need to flour that surface up there, because that's where you're going to be. That's where you're going to be rolling your scone shapes. Enough flour there. And a bit slow this morning, apologies for that. So what you're going to do is you're going to mix self-raising flour with the butter, and the butter, ideally, you know, you just open little bits of butter, tiny ones like this. Lakeland Dairy's pure Irish butter salted, and it's better to get these, and then you just open them straight away from the fridge like this. Just open it like this, show you, and they're already, you know, the recipe says cut into cubes, but these are already cut into cubes. So nearly smashed the bowl. That goes in there like that. You've got the sugar, the baking powder and the salt. Right, you've got the caster sugar, the baking powder and the salt. And they're all in there. Because I pre-measured it all out. Just like they do on the show. Just like they do on the telly. So anyway, what we're going to do is you mix in the sugar, the baking powder and the salt. First of all, you've got to do this. until it all gets nice and. This has got to be crumbs. So you just do this until you get crumbs. So I'll come back to you when I've done all that. So you mix in the sugar, the baking powder and the salt, and make a well in the middle. Then you pour in the milk, which is going to be the difficult bit to find because we've only got these tiny little milks. These tiny ones, 250 ml. These, that's all we got left. 4 of these. Can't see what they are. 200 ml. Oh, 200 ml. Oh, so it's that, and a little bit of that. A quarter of that. We've cracked it. Still, you're going to need to have some for breakfast, so this could be a problem. Go for it. Just have to have toast for 4 days. Right. I can always make my own milk. Can't do that. Getting carried away there. So you need your 250 millilitres of milk, which you're going to mix together with the after you've done the fluffy bits with the butter and the flour and made the crumbs. You mix in the sugar. Mixing the sugar and baking powder and the salt, which is all in that metamorphosis mug, I call it, because it's the picture I found. This is the picture I found in Greece, which I thought at the time this German girl said, "Oh, lovely photo. Who's going to have the negatives?" I was like, "Yeah, that's fine." Never saw those again. Well, I managed to find the prints and reconstruct them. So this is the one with the bench on the Greek island of Corfu, Sidari sunsets. So anyway, there we go. There's that one. And 350 ml, a bit slow with the milk today. So right, the whole of that in, that should be 200. Another 50. We've cracked the milk issue. We've got the egg yolk there. Mix the egg yolk round as well. Mix the egg yolk round so it looks all eggy and yellow. It's going well there. It's going great. Just need another one of these, so you just cut off the top of these. It says tear here. You just ignore that tear here. Just ignore that. You know, be a rebel. Ignore the tear here. Just cut it like that. That's it. 50. Not an exact science, is it? It's cooking, baking. $250 there. So once you've got all the stuff sort of on the trays, I'll do all that and then you come back, and before we put it in the oven, I'll show you that when I'm a bit further advanced. So just give me a minute while I put my scissors away. Okay, so we're back. So we're still on the first bit. There's the butter in the flour, and that's obviously like too much butter, so it needs to be made into crumbs. So you just do that for ages. Just keep doing that. Stop me from boring you. I mean, James Martin's probably got his crew to do this, you know, it's probably already done, you know, swans in, and he's all ready. He's brilliant though, isn't he? Can't blame him. Oh, it's fantastic. So what you need is a few more minions. You need a few more minions. Live ones as well, you know. Live helpers. And here we go. Right, so that's all crumbing up a bit. And then what you do, you see, look, the butter just does that. So, I mean, it just looks like flour, to be honest. So it looks like flour. So you just, not sure if I'm following this recipe, and besides I've decided I'm not, for copyright purposes, I'm going to chuck in some sultanas as well, because I think that would work really well. That's not in the Belmont Hotel recipe. And also at the end you use clotted cream and beautiful jam, whatever you like. But I like Sicilian Blood Marmalade on mine, so that's what I like. But you can use strawberry jam and clotted cream. So I suppose you could have, you know, Sicilian Blood Orange Marmalade. Or Spanish lavender honey. Spanish lavender honey. You're a rebel. A bit different. Not supposed to have honey on it. See, I've already got my marmalade open. Here's one I made earlier. So, that's it. That's what you want. Strawberry jam, you know, could do, but I mean, once you've got your scones, and they're all like beautiful, everything, you just slice them open and you just put butter on. Use the Irish salted butter again, in the tiny little pads, tiny little packs of butter there. Anyway, so this is crumbing up quite nicely actually now, so it does take a bit of time. This is what it looks like. Crumbs. Okay, I'm getting a bit bored of that, so have a drink of tea. Oh, no sweetener in it. Tastes disgusting. Okay, so a bit late starting this morning, so here's the crumbs. Better go a bit faster. The crumbs, that's important though, you get the crumbs right. If you get this wrong, you know, you haven't got any scones, have you? It's rubbish. So you've got to get this right. I figure. Okay, so you've done a bit of mixing that with your hand there. What's next? Oh yeah, metamorphosis mug. This has got the baking soda, caster sugar in it. You just chuck all that in there, in the bowl. Chuck all that in the bowl. You might be wondering what the egg yolk's for. Well, that's for brushing on the top of the scones when you've got them, before you put them into the oven. So that's that. It says, once you've got this, make a well and pour the milk in. Not sure this is right. Oh, like a well in the middle of this. I'm not sure what that's for. But you're supposed to make a well in the middle of there. Oh, I haven't got time to build a well. Anyway, so there we go. We've got a well. Chuck some. The 250ml of milk goes in there straight away. And that's it. You got the finished product. It looks brilliant. I'm sure you're supposed to mix this around though. You can't just leave it like that. Yeah, you can't just leave it like that. So you just mix it all around. This is going alright now, I reckon. You could use this. Make it easy on yourself. Actually, just going to do it here. 2 hands, just do that, knead it like that. In the bowl, which you can't see, it's under the camera. Not see me either today. Brilliant. Sack the cameraman. Well, it's like all sticking together. Look at that. It's just sticking together like that. I think that's what it's supposed to do. And this is, you put it on this floury bit and you knead it, but only for a minute. Don't over knead it. Don't over knead it, it says. 1 minute. I think we might have over kneaded it already there. Sticking like crazy to my hands there. Absolutely, totally sticking to my hands. Let's see if we can get that mixture. Just get it over there. So the next bit is you cut them into bits. But I've got these sultanas here, so I'll show you in a minute. Try to show you. It's a bit tricky to move with all this stuck to my hands. We'll see if I'm doing this properly later. Probably not. Right, so the bowl goes in the washing up, so that was risky. Anyway, this is what you've got here, this kind of scenario, and a few sultanas. So that's what I would do. I would just forget the bakery book and just keep on, just not too long, but just chuck a few sultanas in. Make sure that they all get involved, those sultanas. And knead it in. It says 1 minute. I feel like I've been doing this about 5 minutes. Probably wrong. So you've got to find a brush as well to brush the egg yolk on the top of these. But what you need is an egg cut. It's like a cutter thing. So you need. That's what you need. So you've got these things here. That's your dough basically with your sultanas in. This is looking pretty good now. Sticking to your hands like crazy. If you've done this for the first time, don't freak out. It's meant to stick a bit, but the flour will take it off. Flour will take it off like that. And just, that's what you've got there. So it's a doughy, floury, sultanary mess. I would describe this. This is going to work. This is going to be the biggest miracle in the history of the world. Oh dear. Now what you probably should do is you practice making scones before you make the video. Never do that. Straight in. So here we go. Right, you use this thing that sultanas keep falling out. It's not right at all. Keep falling out. I suppose if you had a rolling pin it might help. Roll it a bit. Looks like one massive scone at the moment. Is it one massive scone there? Right, that's obviously been more than 1 minute, so you probably got it all this completely wrong. Sultanas keep falling out. Must be something. Why are they doing that? Falling out. Push it back. Sultanas keep falling out, so. New song, Sultanas keep falling out. I have to write that one. Right, so I reckon what we do, had enough of that. Make them in like that with the cutter. Make them into little shapes. Don't mess around because we've not got all day. Bang, bang, bang. Oh, it should be like these 2-inch shapes, you know, about 2 inches, I reckon. You know, scone shaped. Make it. You know what you're aiming for. So try and do that. Try and make it scone shaped. Probably, I think 6 or is probably going to, how many, 6 or, this will probably make about 6, I think, 6 or 7. 7. Yeah. And probably sees it's got the baking powder in it, so it's going to rise, so you want to make sure they're not too big, because then you've got massive scones to eat. Not going to worry about that too much. Sultanas are everywhere. Don't be afraid of banging the sultanas in. See? Get that in there. Get all that in there. That's one there. So at the moment you've got them on your floury surface there, on a board, wooden board. But they're going to go on. You need it on baking tray to bang it in the oven, and you've got to get it brown on top. You need the yellow egg yolk. So I can't see a thing in these glasses. I'll take these off. Don't know what I'm doing with those. That's better. Right, I can see what I've got now. I've got there you go. Looking pretty good. Looking scone-like. Don't know why these raisins get. Well, you could use raisins. I've used sultanas just for a little bit of extra taste. Sultana scones. Sultana scones sounds good. Bit of alliteration. Okay, so yeah, put them on there. This is on your baking tray, putting them on a baking tray. Egg yolk on the top and then bang them in the oven and see what happens. I'll come back later and just take them out of the oven and show you what they look like. So we've got 7 actually, we've got 7 very religious numbers, 7 there, we've got 7. I'm just putting the egg yolk on the top now. Use a brush, use a spoon, who cares? Right, I'm going to bang them in the oven and come back later. Okay, so we're back now. Baking time is 10 to 12 minutes, gas mark 7. And let's see what they're like. They're in 10 minutes, 10 to 12 minutes. So, health and safety. Wow, those look pretty good. I'll just test one. You mustn't overbake them. So, some of breakfast here. Oh, that crumble. Mustn't overbake them, mustn't underbake them. The butter. I'll do that later, all the butter in there. Gotta wash that out. So we've got one of these tiny little butter tab things. Lakeland Dairies pure Irish butter. You've got to watch the oven because the oven's still on. You don't want to burn all the others. Don't want to ruin that. So this butter should just melt on top of the warm scone. Get a spoon. Clotted cream there. Rodder's classic Cornish clotted cream. 23rd of June the date there, so we're well inside that. This is what it looks like. So you put some of that on. Probably get 1,000 emails from people in Devon. Oh no, you don't put the cream on first, you put the jam on first, the butter on first. Anyway, my order is butter, marmalade, cream. And don't mess with me because this is Sicilian Blood Red Marmalade. So, you know, don't mess with me. The Godfather. Anyway, back in the fridge. This is all ready to, I don't normally do this, but this is looking great. Oh no, wow. Right, fantastic.